Okay, sorry about that. I didn't know that automatically Instagram cuts you out after an hour. Where were we? Can we keep the questions coming? Because I can't see any questions anymore. And someone should please tell me how to save live videos, because I'm not sure that video was saved. Makinde, yes, please keep the questions coming in. Parents, please keep your questions coming in. Well, I look for questions I haven't answered. Yeah, someone talked about autism and dyslexia kids. I personally do think that they should be treated good. And sometimes you just presume that the person has, or the child is an autism child, or the child is a dyslexia child. You just presume. I understand it's because of patterns and all, but they should please be treated with love and just like you would treat every other child. Because whether you like it or not, every child is unique. There's something special in every child. I don't think you should constantly remind them of their challenges, to learning. Sorry, I need to drink some water. Okay. Please send in your questions. Yeah. I was saying that I think that autism and dyslexia kids should be treated normal. Every child is unique and they should be treated with love. I really do think so. You don't want to constantly remind them of the challenges they're facing in life. They already know it's already difficult for them, as a child, not to relate with other children or to be treated in a very different way. It's already difficult for them, so you really don't want to remind them constantly of that. So you need to focus on their strengths, actually, not capitalize on their weaknesses or whatever challenges they have. If you have a child that's obviously smarter than other kids in class, do you treat them differently from the other kids? No, I don't treat them different from the other kids. However, I call those kind of children the gifted and talented children. I extend them all the time. Because a task that you have stipulated for an hour is actually too much to give a child a task to do. A task that you have stipulated for 20 minutes, and there are children that will be done with that task in 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You don't want to leave them just sitting quietly and looking. Some of them, especially hyperactive children, who will disturb other children. So what I do personally, I give them extension tasks. So if we're dealing with 2-digit numbers, and I realize that they've easily gotten a hang on 2-digit numbers, I would extend them to work with 3-digit numbers, right? So I don't, I wouldn't treat them differently in a very different way. I put it that way, but I would rather extend them so as not to. I don't like to limit children. You need to constantly extend children, especially when you know that they have that potential in them. Please keep your questions coming in, parents. What are your concerns about for pace? So I'm going back because of people that came in or joined late. There are different paced learners. Obviously, even as adults, we do not get things easily. Sometimes you need to tell some adults some things twice, 3 times or more. Shoma says, "Can we go back to sunshine? Why do you want us to go back to sunshine?" And the only teacher I miss there is Mrs. Adindu. Actually, I don't want to go back to sunshine. Okay, so there are slow-paced kids. There are fast-paced kids. Okay, for the slow-paced kids, fast-paced kids, you really do not have any challenge per se, except that you need to constantly give them tasks to make them busy. For the slow-paced kids, I mentioned earlier on that there are certain things that would help them get better. Interest. You need to find your child's interest. It's very important. Very, very important. Your children are not the same. If you happen to have 3 kids, they cannot all be the same. Impossible. You would either have one that's very introvertic. There's one that will probably be very extrovertic. The one that is always in the front line, always hugging aunties and uncles that come around. There's always one that wants to be in the room and doesn't want to say good morning to anybody. They are different. Same applies to pace. Some children are slow paced, and it also depends if it's an auditory or is a conversation. Some children are slow paced in understanding what you have just said, but if it's a video, they would easily grasp what you're trying to teach them. So you need to understand your child. That's very important. And if the child happens to be slow paced and there's only a particular technique that you need to teach that particular topic, then you please apply repetition. You need to constantly repeat. That's tasking, to be very candid. Very annoying, to be very candid. But if it works for the child, please do it. And slow paced children require so much patience. You need to be patient with them, please. Don't say don't call them names, don't tag them, please. It would affect them eventually. Okay, Makinde says Chima says adulthood is a scam. It is a scam, most definitely a scam. I agree with you. I have a question, however, I think I would rather DM it. I'm not sure. I can check my DMs. Yeah, I have autistic children in my school. They are always regarded as more competent than others, regarded as children of determination, gifted or talented. Priority is given to them and they are more. I absolutely agree with you. Like I said, every child is special. Every child is unique. You need to treat every child with respect, regardless of whatever regardless of whatever challenge the child has. You really, really need to treat every child with so much respect. So autism kids are as important as every other kid. You just really need some level of patience with them, trust me. It's really tasking, extremely taxing. I agree with you. I no doubt it's really tasking, because it really can get so frustrating when you are asking them or teaching them the same things over and over and over and over and over again. Like, sometimes you're like, really? But it's really not their fault. It's really, really not their fault. They feel bad. They feel really bad about it sometimes, to be candid. I love your wall clock, by the way. I have one like that. That's nice. Yeah. Love is a beautiful thing, innit? Yeah, okay. Keep it coming. But I really, really love kids. Children are very, very special. Very special to me, obviously. I love kids for way too many reasons. And the Bible wasn't joking when the Bible said, or when the word of God says that, except you're like children, you will not enter the kingdom of God. Have you seen kids fight? Like if they literally just had a very bad fight, and in like a minute or 5 minutes, their best of friends again. So I just really love to be around them, because you learn a lot from them. They really have nothing in mind. Like, they are free spirited people, they are free birds, always so happy, and they really don't hold grudges and all. So I love kids a lot, clearly. But I can be so affirmative that some autistic children perform more than the usual average kid. Actually, a lot of them are super smart. I've taught 2 so far. We had a competition, a numeracy competition. It was about numbers, yeah. And this guy was literally blowing everybody's mind. he wouldn't even wait for you to drop a question. You won't be done before he gives you a response. So I think they're just like senses, if you probably cannot see, then your sense of hearing would be amazing. So I think that I really do agree with you that autism kids and dyslexia kids are really, really good, very smart. I agree. Okay, so we have done this for over an hour. If we don't have more questions coming in, may I just come to a close? We'll hopefully be doing this more. Thank you everyone that has that joined. This has been very, very interesting, quite insightful. We have talked about how to deal with different pieces. This like a recap pieces. Okay, it basically requires how do you deal with naughty kids? They are just kids, okay? Except what they are doing is quite harmful. Yeah, except that I really just think kids are just kids. When you were a kid, you behave like them, maybe even worse. So you actually really just need to correct them with love, please. Love. Trust me, I've seen it all. There's a particular child in my class that she's always up to no good. I kid you not. Every morning when she comes to school, she's always up to no good. Always up to no good. But I would like to believe that she really doesn't know what she's doing. I actually think they don't know what they're doing sometimes. Yeah, they really don't know what they're doing sometimes. So you need to correct them with love, please. Not from a place of anger or bitterness. Okay, I was so surprised when I saw the kids doing amazing well in quantitative competition, but didn't perform really cool in language. Yes, I think most of the time, actually, it has a lot to do with reading, spelling, writing. Yeah, that's where their problem usually is, or their challenge usually is. But for numbers, they are amazingly good with numbers. Autism, dyslexia kids are really, really good with numbers and autism kids. So yeah, I agree. The problem usually is with language. Yeah, why is it that they perform well in logic and quantitative, will perform less outstanding in language? So apparently, sorry, 1 minute. Sorry for the break. Apparently, dyslexia kids are actually the ones that have challenges with reading, writing, spelling, and all. So that's why it's very much related to reading, spelling, writing. So apparently, yes, it's a major deal. They basically do not have problem with numbers. Actually, they're really, really good and sound with numbers. I mean, I was trying to recap because we're going to come to a close right now. This has been on for over an hour. So, in recap, children with slow pace while learning requires repetition. You need to constantly repeat what has been taught. It's okay. It's all because it also requires patience. You need to be very patient with them. It's really not their fault sometimes. Most times actually not their fault. And you need to find out what their interest is. If they are interested in reading, they will definitely not be slow in reading. And you need to channel whatever their interest in their learning. It's as simple as that. So thank you for coming to the live show. We're gonna be doing this like often, hopefully, and we'll be having guests also. So thank you. Bye. I don't have any more questions that It's not being answered. All right, I'll just give like 1 minute for maybe last words or any contributions. Thank you so much, Mimi. You're such a trigger. Thank you, Makinde, for your contributions. It was really helpful during this stream. Thank you, Makinde. Okay, I think there was a question that came in. Okay, we answered this. Okay, so I have come to a close. We shall do this some other time. Okay, thank you. This was fun.